What if I told you the reason you're stuck isn't lack of motivation or effort, but that you're thinking too much? I've noticed something strange in my own life. The goals where I let go, stopped overanalyzing, and just showed up, those move forward very effortlessly. But the goals I kept questioning, overanalyzing, trying to figure it all out, completely stalled. So I started to explore this concept in a lot more detail. And it turns out that thinking actually derails your progress. So the obvious question is, how do you actually stop thinking? Because trying to stop your thoughts is like fighting fire with more fire. It's futile and it doesn't work. But there is a simpler way. In this video, I'll show you one practical trick that breaks the thinking loop and helps you finally move forward. This has been life-changing for me. In order to understand this simple trick, we need to first understand a little more about how our mind works and what triggers overthinking in the first place. Thinking, and subsequently overthinking, starts the moment you have to make a choice and you care about controlling how it turns out. Take weight loss or fat loss as an example. You wake up with a clear intention. I'm going to eat cleaner, I'm going to hit the gym, I'm going to avoid eating all the sugar. But when it's time to act, the choice appears. And suddenly the mind chimes in. I have an early meeting today, I'll do the gym later. I'm really hungry and all I have this candy bar in the bag. I think I should just eat it, I'll be fine. So sometimes you follow through, but a lot of the times your mind sabotages you right when you have to make a choice. Why is that? Because every time your goal requires a choice, there's room for your mind to look for comfort, certainty, and familiar patterns. And that's why you fall back on your old patterns. Your past habits get triggered, not because you're demotivated or undisciplined, but because the mind is doing exactly what it's designed to do. And that is completely normal. And once you see this clearly, it becomes avoidable. So now let's look at the flip side. What is a real secret to mastery and success? At its core, mastery isn't complicated. The secret to success is simple: showing up consistently and putting in the reps. Of course, there are other elements like luck, timing, and chance events, but those aren't in our control, so let's leave them aside. When you look closely at the areas of your life where you have been successful, where you have achieved that goal, you'll notice something interesting. Your mind was out of the way. You weren't constantly thinking, questioning, or overanalyzing about your goal. You just showed up with intent and a trust that things would work out. That's the real secret. It's about showing up without thinking, being fully engaged in the action that you're undertaking, and letting go of the pressure of how it has to turn out. Here's a simple trick to stop thinking and to finally make progress towards your goals. If you're here, overthinking and stuck, and you want to get here, showing up and putting the reps in consistently, this is your bridge. I call it the no choice plan. It's the easiest way to stop thinking about your goals and just put in the reps. Or as Nike says, just do it. And here's how it works. Take any goal you have. Lose fat, build a business, build a side hustle, get that promotion. It doesn't matter. Break that goal into repeatable actions. So if it's fat loss, maybe you're thinking you'll do strength training 3 times a week. Maybe you'll put in your cardio twice a week. And maybe you'll do simpler, lower carb meals. If it's a side hustle, you may be thinking about putting in 2 hours of deep work 3 times a week. Once you have your repeatable actions figured out, the next step is to schedule the actions into your calendar. The act of scheduling ahead of time removes the trigger of choice in the moment of action. And when there's no choice, there's nothing for your mind to argue with. Now you're putting in the reps, fully engaged in the task, building towards your goals. Let's look at some rules to make this foolproof. Before we go on, if you found this helpful, consider subscribing to my free newsletter, sachipol.com, where I explore a lot more on how to get unstuck in life. Back to the rules. Here are a few pointers that will make the no choice plan a foolproof system for you. Number 1, plan your week on Sunday. Non-negotiable, decide once, no daily debating. Add the Sunday block to your calendar. Number 2, every night, review the next day's plan. This is literally a 15-minute thing on my calendar, but it works so wonderfully. This removes decision making in the moment. You don't want to wake up the next day giving your mind a choice to make on what you should be doing. Number 3, prep everything, especially to make your first task as successful as possible. If it's a workout that you've planned in the morning, lay your clothes, your shoes, and your gym bag ready to go. Make showing up the easiest option, especially for your first task. And lastly, make your first task a success. Don't think, just show up. If you accomplish your first task, you have the momentum to carry carry forward the entire day. Trust me, the no choice plan works. The no choice plan, while doubling down as a productivity hack, is the most effective way I have found to break your mind spiral and finally free yourself to work on the things that are most important to you. Ironically, giving your mind no choice leads to leading a life full of freedom. I hope you found this video helpful. If so, do consider subscribing. On this channel, I explore how to get unstuck in life and pursue our biggest dreams with joy, vibrancy, and ease. Thank you for watching.